But with each passing decade, the mystery deepened. Every attempt to see through the clouds failed. Even the largest telescopes on Earth, like those at Mount Wilson or Palomar, revealed nothing but a blurry, featureless disk. By the mid-20th century, the question loomed larger than ever. What was the real Venus, and why did it hide so completely?
You have never truly seen Venus, and what lies beneath its clouds could upend everything you believe about the planets, and even about Earth itself. What you are about to discover is not just the story of another world, but a cosmic mirror held up to our own, a warning, a mystery, and a challenge that echoes across time and space.
Night after night, Venus glows with serene beauty, shining as the brightest star in the evening or morning sky. Its gentle, unwavering light feels so familiar that we rarely pause to wonder what truly hides behind that dazzling face. For centuries, poets and dreamers compared it to a goddess or a beacon of hope, yet Venus is not what it seems. Beneath its thick, poisonous clouds, sunlight is nearly banished, and nothing from earthly eyes can pierce the shroud. The planet's serene glow is a mask, concealing a world whose reality is far more turbulent and extreme than we once dared to imagine. For thousands of years, artists and astronomers painted Venus from pure imagination. Telescopes, no matter how advanced, saw only a smooth, creamy veil. The planet's surface, its color, its geography, all were mysteries, filled in with guesses and dreams. The true Venus was hidden, unknowable, and utterly alien. In the late 19th century, as telescopes improved, some scientists even speculated Venus might be a lush jungle or a world covered in oceans, a paradise of clouds. Science fiction writers like Ray Bradbury described Venus as a world of endless rain and steamy swamps, a mirror of Earth's own untamed past. To cling to the myths is comfortable, but dangerously wrong. Venus is not a frozen ornament. It is alive with chaos and change. Its true nature is stranger, more violent, and more terrifying than fiction. And somewhere in its hellish landscape may be a warning about Earth's own future, a fate we might still share if we are not careful. To understand how we finally glimpsed the real Venus, we must go back to the earliest and riskiest missions. These first attempts would test the limits of technology and human courage, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. Then, for the first time, real images arrived from robotic explorers. What they revealed utterly shattered every old belief. The surface was not a lush paradise, but a realm cracked, scorched, and violently twisted. A world so extreme that any probe sent from Earth is crushed, melted, or burned within moments. No other planet erases our efforts with such cold certainty or so quickly. Every lander, every camera, every scientific dream destroyed almost instantly by an environment beyond comprehension. But how did we finally tear away Venus's veil? What did it take to reveal the real planet? To answer that, we must retrace the first daring steps humans took toward this forbidden world, steps that combined audacity, sacrifice, and the unbreakable will to know.
For generations, Venus was a riddle wrapped in clouds, a world both alluring and impenetrable. Scientists gazed at its bright shimmer and imagined a paradise. Some speculated that Venus was covered in deep oceans or steamy jungles. In the era of Victorian explorers, it was common to imagine entire civilizations hidden beneath the endless clouds, perhaps even intelligent life. But beneath the beauty lay something far more dangerous. Venus may look like Earth's twin, but it is a realm of nightmares. The surface blazes at temperatures hot enough to melt lead, outstripping even Mercury, though Venus orbits farther from the Sun. Its air pressure is nearly 100 times that of Earth, enough to flatten a submarine with ease. Overhead, the sky churns with clouds of pure sulfuric acid, raining droplets that would dissolve any unprotected metal or flesh.
The first Venera probes were little more than metal shells with primitive cameras and sensors. They were launched with the hope, not the certainty, that something would survive the descent. Most did not. Venera 1 lost contact long before arriving. Venera 3 became the first human-made object to reach the surface of another planet, but it never sent a single signal back. Each attempt was a gamble, a lesson in humility before the might of an alien world.
In the 1960s and 70s, the Soviet Union set its sights on this hellish planet. The space race was in full swing, and while the United States looked to the moon, the Soviets turned their attention to Venus. They spent years and fortunes on the Venera project, determined to conquer a world seemingly designed to destroy any machine. Early probes vanished without a trace, pulverized by heat and pressure before they could reach the ground. Some never even made it through the atmosphere, their electronics fried by temperatures hotter than any oven on Earth. But these early images were only the beginning. To truly understand Venus, scientists needed to see beneath the clouds, and that would require even greater ingenuity. They needed to see not just the surface, but the hidden forces that shaped it. But after more than a decade of failures and heartbreak, the Soviets achieved the impossible. In the year 1975, Venera 9 landed and survived. Against overwhelming odds, it transmitted the first photographs ever captured from another planet's surface. The images, warped and grainy, showed a cracked, desolate landscape, nothing like the peaceful Eden once hoped for. For 53 precious minutes, the lander sent data, revealing slabs of rock and a horizon lost in toxic haze. The cost was staggering. Decades of hope, vast sums of money, and the willingness to admit how little we understood. Yet, the glimpses snatched by those brave machines forever changed our vision of Venus. In those moments, history was made, much like when Galileo first trained his telescope on Jupiter's moons, or when the Apollo astronauts stepped onto lunar soil. With Venus, the victory was not in surviving, but in seeing, even if only for an hour at a time. Subsequent missions, like Venera 10, Venera 13, and Venera 14, peeled back more layers. Venera 13, in particular, brought not just color images, but audio from the surface. A haunting wind, the hiss of burning air, the mechanical groans of a dying probe. They revealed a world of yellow haze, scorched rocks, and landscapes twisted by unimaginable forces. Venus was not just unwelcoming, it was violently hostile, a furnace concealed behind toxic clouds. The Venera landers were not built to last. They were, in effect, sacrifices hurled into the fire for a fleeting glimpse. Yet, with each mission, humanity learned a little more. But scientists refused to accept defeat. If light could not pierce Venus's eternal veil, perhaps something else could. Radar. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, NASA launched the Magellan mission with one radical goal. Magellan would not take ordinary images. Instead, it would hurl radio waves, pure radar, through Venus's shroud, catching echoes from the hidden world below. When sight fails, reach with invisible hands. For centuries, Venus hid her true face behind clouds so thick that not a single shard of visible light could escape. To every telescope and camera, the planet appeared as a swirling, featureless marble, an enigma wrapped in poison, refusing to reveal itself. Even the most powerful space telescopes, such as the Hubble, were rendered useless against this opaque barrier. It was as if Venus itself was determined to keep its secrets. For nearly 4 years, Magellan orbited Venus, sweeping its surface with invisible beams. By mission's end, the spacecraft had mapped nearly the entire planet in astonishing detail. The results shattered every expectation and ignited a new mystery. Scientists compared the achievement to the first aerial surveys of Earth, when unknown continents and mountain ranges were revealed for the first time. Venus's surface is a landscape of chaos and upheaval. Giant volcanoes loom, dwarfing any on Earth. Mont Mons and Sif Mons are vast volcanic mountains,
rising higher than Mount Everest. Endless plains of ancient lava sprawl for thousands of kilometers, frozen yet hinting at cataclysmic eruptions. Enormous fractures and scars crisscross the planet, as if Venus has tried to tear itself apart. One rift valley, called Divana Chasma, stretches for thousands of kilometers, deeper and longer than the Grand Canyon. To make sense of this alien terrain, scientists transformed Magellan's radar data into mesmerizing three-dimensional flyovers. For the first time, humanity soared above Venus's tortured mountains and valleys, glimpsing the planet's violence and beauty in a new, visceral way. These views forced us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about our cosmic neighbor. They inspired a new generation of planetary scientists, much as the first photographs of Mars or Saturn's rings had done before. The radar images held a startling revelation. The surface is shockingly young, geologically speaking. Rather than a static, dead world, Venus looks newly reshaped, perhaps within the last several 100 million years. The evidence suggests that the entire planet may have melted and remade itself in a single planet-wide cataclysm. Imagine if, on Earth, every continent and ocean basin were erased and rebuilt within the span of a few 100 million years, a blink of the eye in geological time. But there is danger in trusting what is easiest to see, the smooth clouds, the apparent serenity. Venus warns us. Real understanding demands that we look deeper, past appearances. If we fail to pierce the veil, we risk misunderstanding not just Venus, but the nature of planetary change, and perhaps the future of our own world. History is full of lessons where surface appearances deceived. The Titanic, thought unsinkable, was doomed by hidden flaws. The Roman Empire, thought eternal, crumbled from within. Venus is another such warning. Yet the most haunting question remains, could what happened on Venus one day happen here? To answer, we must confront the forces that shape planets and the fragile balance that keeps Earth alive. This is not just a scientific debate. It is a question with profound implications for every life on Earth. A spacecraft built to study the sun made a mistake, or perhaps a miracle. In a fleeting moment, it glimpsed what no mission to Venus ever had, undeniable signs of a living world beneath the planet's eternal shroud. The NASA Parker Solar Probe, launched to study the sun's corona, used Venus for a crucial gravity assist. During this maneuver, the probe's cameras accidentally captured visible light images of the Venusian surface, something considered impossible due to the planet's thick clouds. These were not just pretty pictures, they were proof. For the first time in human history, humanity saw Venus as it truly is, dynamic, shifting, alive. The Parker probe's unplanned snapshots revealed a surface flickering with subtle changes, suggesting ongoing activity. Back on Earth, scientists aimed powerful radio waves at Venus, bouncing signals off its hidden ground and listening for the echoes. The returns showed real change, subtle shifts in brightness and texture, unmistakable evidence that the landscape itself was evolving. Old theories crumbled. Something was happening right now. Then came the most astonishing discovery. New radar analysis confirmed volcanic eruptions within the past 10 years, so recent they had already altered the planet's surface. Venus was not frozen in time. It was active, reshaping itself before our eyes. This was not speculation, but direct evidence. Volcanic flows, changes in radar reflectivity, and hints of gas plumes erupting from deep within. This changes the story completely. Venus, long dismissed as dead, is restless. Molten rocks surges upward, continents shift, gases spew and swirl, feeding strange chemical storms. The planet's surface is unstable, its interior churning, an earthly twin gone wild, rewriting our understanding of what a planet can be. Imagine if, on Earth, volcanoes like Mount St. Helens or Krakatoa erupted not once in a century, but every decade, across the entire planet. That is the scale of Venusian upheaval. Yet beneath the science, something deeper is unfolding. Seeing Venus with our own eyes is changing how we think, shattering old myths and revealing a truth more unsettling and more urgent than we ever imagined. It compels us to ask, if Venus changed so completely, what forces could do the same to Earth? How can we protect our fragile balance?
The implications are enormous. If a world so similar to ours can turn so alien so fast, what are we missing about Earth's future? Could our home undergo upheavals just as fierce, just as final? History offers sobering parallels. The extinction of the dinosaurs, the Dust Bowl, the sudden collapse of ancient civilizations, all reminders that stability is never guaranteed. With each new image and echo from Venus, we receive not just knowledge, but a warning, a glimpse of a fate our planet might one day share.
Now, with Venus unveiled at last, scientists and dreamers alike are racing to interpret what these revelations mean. The next chapter will test not only our technology, but our imagination and our willingness to face what we find. Agencies around the world are planning ambitious missions. NASA's Veritas and Da Vinci Plus, Europe's Envision, and India's Shukrayan. Each intends to plunge through Venus's toxic clouds, sending back data that could rewrite planetary science, just as Galileo's telescope once did.
Venus's real face is hard to look at, but its harshness may hold the key to our own survival. Almost every image you have ever seen of Venus is a lie. The glowing marbled globe in textbooks, the dreamy pastel landscapes in science fiction, they are all filtered, simulated, or imagined. The truth is far stranger and far more unsettling. When landers and radar finally pierced those clouds, what they revealed was not soft or inviting. The actual surface is warped, colorless, and deeply alien. Jagged rocks, broken plains, and a brutal haze that swallows every color but yellow and gray. These images are raw honesty, showing us Venus not as we wish it to be, but as it truly is. Venus was once almost Earth's twin, matching our planet in size and mass. Yet, in what could have been the blink of a geological eye, it became a hellscape. Researchers think the entire surface may have melted and reformed just a few 100 million years ago. If it happened there, could it happen here? Venus forces us to admit that planetary stability is fragile and no world's future is certain. Take, for example, the recent debate over phosphine gas. In 2020, astronomers announced signs of phosphine in Venus's atmosphere, a gas that on Earth is often associated with biological activity. The discovery sparked fierce debate. Is this the signature of unknown chemistry, or could it even hint at microbial life surviving in the upper clouds? While most experts now believe non-biological processes are more likely, the search continues, each answer raising new, deeper questions. Soon, bold new missions will plunge through those toxic clouds, aiming to catch Venus in the act of changing. Each fresh image, each new reading is more than just data. It is a reality check, a challenge to our comfortable illusions, and a reminder that truth is sometimes far more important and more disturbing than beauty. Why does this matter? Because Venus's battered volcanic surface is a warning written in stone and sulfur. Here is a planet that changed violently and unpredictably, erasing its history in fire. Where we see a sister world, the evidence shows a place reshaped by forces we barely understand. Volcanoes still rumble beneath Venus's clouds, churning out gases that thicken its toxic air. The result is an atmosphere heavy with carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid, making the planet's surface hot enough to melt lead. Some scientists believe this constant geological turmoil may be responsible for mysterious chemicals, like phosphine, that hint at unknown processes, or even life clinging to the most hostile corners. How did we uncover Venus's true nature, despite such overwhelming obstacles? That story begins with a quest as audacious as it was desperate. Venus's truth is not its beauty, but its warning, a signal we can no longer ignore.
If we ignore the real story of Venus, we risk missing a planetary warning, a lesson about how quickly worlds can change, even when they seem safe. So the next time you see a painted, perfect Venus, remember, beneath those clouds, the real story is waiting, and it could become our story too. For thousands of years, Venus gleamed overhead, a beacon of myth and hope, Earth's radiant twin. But the illusion shattered with the first battered Soviet landers, their desperate signals piercing the clouds. Radar pulled back the curtain. What they revealed was not a gentle world, but a furnace. On Venus, metal melts as quickly as wax. The ground heaves and shifts in planetary spasms. Clouds rain acid, and the air itself is a crushing, toxic weight. Why does that revelation matter? Because seeing Venus as it really is ripped apart our assumptions about planets. Venus, so close to Earth in size and gravity, charted a path that led to catastrophe. Its oceans vanished, boiled away by relentless heat. Its skies thickened into a choking shroud. None of this was legend or punishment, simply physics and chemistry, the same forces that shape every planet. If Venus could transform so completely, so could any world, even ours. Ignoring Venus is not just an academic mistake. Every radar scan, every blurred image, echoes a warning about our own future. If Venus could fall so far, so quickly, why not Earth? The lesson is sharp. Climate, atmosphere, geology, all hang in a delicate balance. Disturb that, and even a stable world can spiral into chaos. The cost of not listening to Venus is gambling with Earth's fate. Consider the history of Earth's climate, ice ages, extinction events, greenhouse spikes. Each was a tipping point, a glimpse of how quickly change can come. Yet these hard-won glimpses are more than dire omens. They prove what curiosity and courage can accomplish. Each image stands as a testament to human determination, the will to look past the comforting veils and face reality head-on. The true face of Venus is not just a scientific triumph, it is a challenge. It dares us to question what we think we know, not only about distant planets, but about our own. In this way, Venus is like the first explorers who dared to sail beyond the known world, or the scientists who peered into the atom, undaunted by the unknown. So next time Venus shines in twilight, do not be lulled by its gentle glow. Remember what hides beneath. A world that warns us beauty can mask disaster, that no planet is guaranteed safety, and that knowledge is often bought at a steep price. The story of Venus is unfinished, and its lesson is clear. Discovery is not about easy answers, but about daring to ask better, harder questions. In the end, Venus is not just a world out there. It is a message. It is a reminder that the universe is stranger, more complex, and more fragile than we often believe. To know Venus is to know our own place in the cosmos, to face our fears, and to rise again and again in the pursuit of truth.